Okay, so just click on slideshow. Click on slideshow. No, go up. Click on slideshow. Can you see slideshow? No, okay. No, here. On the red ribbon, just you can see animation slideshow review. So slideshow, yes. Okay, so from the beginning, to go to exactly. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so good morning once again. Like I said, this is going to be a very interactive session, and there are activities for all of us to participate in. In instances where you're not able to speak, I fully expect that you just drop some comments in the sidebar. So say if I just going to follow my speech so that you can move, that way I won't have to be saying next, and all. So today we're going to be talking about navigating the job market, strategies for job search and networking. For us as young people, a lot of times we have difficulties or we have challenges, navigating the job market, undergoing job search, trying to network properly to be able to get the right job for us. At the end of this session, we would have been able to look at some of the strategies that we can employ with regards to job searching and networking. All right. Okay, so let's keep moving now. So the next slide is on the outline. We're just going to talk about the job market in a nutshell. The job market in a nutshell. And one of the first activities that we're going to do is what are the, okay, there seems to be a mix-up here, but we're going to look at the job roles in the last 10 years, how the job roles have changed in the last 10 years, how you can prepare yourself for the workplace, how to go about job searching, cold emails, networking, job interviews, conclusions, and of course, question and answer sessions. All right? Okay. Let's keep moving, please. Okay, so this is the first activity, and I want you all to participate here. Imagine you're being interviewed and you're asked this question, tell me about yourself. What would you say? I want someone to just quickly tell us about themselves in 1 minute. We're having a conversation, we're having an interview, and then the first question says, tell me about yourself. What would you respond to? I'm going to start calling names. I'm going to be looking at the names of the people here, but I don't want to do that. So I want someone to just say, imagine that you are in an interview session and just in 1 minute, tell me a bit about yourself. Okay? Anybody? Okay, Joy, do you want to take that for us? Somebody is saying if he's the only one with, if he or she is the only one with bad audio, do you mean like you can't speak or you can't hear? Okay, I need to be sure that you can hear me. Can anyone hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, ma.
Can anyone hear me? All right, okay. So I want someone to tell me about themselves. Okay, how about now? It's raining very heavily and I think that is a challenge. How about now? Is it better now?
We can hear you now, but sometimes the line breaks.
Okay, I think
the voice is somehow hazy.
Yeah, it's raining very heavy and I'm on like the last floor of the building where I am, so it's a whole dot. But is it at least a bit better now?
Yes, it's a bit better now.
Okay, let me join with my phone and speak on my phone and see if it will be better. Let me join also on my phone and see what if that will be better than the laptop. Let's see if that works. Just give me a minute for that. Okay, how about now?
It's better now.
It's much clearer now.
All right, okay, that's fine. Okay, so like I was saying, can someone tell me a bit about themselves? I want us to imagine a scenario where it's an interview session, and I'm asking this question, tell me about yourself. So I want
Can I give it a try?
Margaret, please go on. Go on, Margaret. Hello?
Okay, my name is Margaret. I I study civil engineering. I work with Quantum Link Services as an auditor. Um, my work schedule Monday to Friday. I ensure that I carry out my activities, which is to ensure approval and do budgetary approval. I roughly just a try.
All right, okay, thank you very much. So we're going to address that later in the presentation. All right, okay, so let's keep moving the slides. So the job market is constantly evolving. A lot of roles that we have presently, 10 years ago, those roles were not even in existence. I'm sure if I had asked anybody 10 years ago if you know what a social media manager is, so many people 10 years ago would not have known what a social media manager. That is because the job market is constantly evolving. So if I could please move the slides, look at the slides. Just tap on the screen and it will move exactly. All right. So over time, new roles are constantly being evolved. Like the example I gave you now, social media manager was not a mainstream role. Sure, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the roles we had were doctors, lawyers, engineers, and what have you. But as time goes on and there are changes in the workplace, you begin to realize that so many roles are coming up, so many skill sets are coming into existence. So many things that people did not call a career before are now what people are going into. Skill sets are changing and evolving. For instance, the example I gave earlier, a social media manager, a lot of organizations did not have that before because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, social media was not a thing. And then also, the workplace dynamics have changed. A lot of organizations now are, doing remote work. Some are doing full physical, where people come to the office 5 times a week. Some are doing hybrid, or you come to the office some days in the week, or you come to the office 2 days and then you work 3 days remote, or vice versa. The point is, the job market is always changing. It's always changing. What is the trend in 2020 is not the trend in 2024. I'm sure in 2020, if we had told people, or if we had been told that remote work was going to become a thing, nobody would believe us. However, we're in 2024, and a lot of times when you go for interviews, people ask you, is it remote? Is it hybrid? Is it full-time physical? Because that is where we are today. Now, the next question I'm going to ask, what job roles were not existing 10 years ago? What job roles were not existing 10 years ago? Like I said, this is going to be an interactive session. So as I'm asking you, I want you to be answering. You can type it in the chat box if you are not able to speak. What job roles were not existing 10 years ago? Okay. Digital marketer, yes. Product manager, yes. Influencer, social media manager, okay. Content creator. I mean, if you had told somebody 10 years ago, if you meet somebody and say, my job is content creator, people would be like, what is content creator? UI, UX designer, exactly. These were roles that were not existing 10 years ago. Data analyst, yes. More examples, UX writer, content strategist, content creator, and so many. Now, the next question I want to ask, and I want us to think in 10 years or in 5 years, which roles do you think might spring up? What roles do you think might spring up? I want you to just think about it and say, okay, 10 years ago, we did not have content creator. In the next 10 years, what roles are likely to spring up? Okay, you can also, as usual, type in the comment box. I've already given 2 examples here. Virtual health coach. I mean, we already have something like that now, but it's not a mainstream role. It's not a mainstream career. Augmented reality developer. And so for the quality control manager is already in existence. We're trying to imagine what will happen in the future. Yes, virtual therapist, I agree. AI technologist, yes. I mean, AI has come to stay. So AI technologist, yes. Any other example? And you find that a lot of these roles are going to be tied to what we have presently. A lot of them are going to be remote roles and what have you. All right, let's move to the next slide, please. Preparing yourself for the workplace. So can you move to the next slide? The first thing is to identify your career path. As a therapist, whether you want to be a virtual health coach, whether you want, oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
We can hear you.
Is it better now?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
All right. So I was saying that the key to prepare yourself for the workplace is to identify your career path. What career path are you considering for yourself as a young person? Whether you want to be a content creator, whether you want to be an HR manager, whether you want to be a banker, the first thing you ask yourself is, what career path am I considering? Now, when you have identified the career path that you want for yourself, you begin to ask yourself, what are the requirements for that particular career path? Now, let's talk about content creating. Do you really think, or let me ask this question, if you were to decide that you want to become a content creator, what are the requirements to become a content creator? I would like to see your answers in the chat box. For you to become a content creator on Instagram, maybe TikTok, YouTube, what have you, what do you think are the requirements to become a successful content creator? Okay, solid social media presence. Okay, what else? Yeah, you need the confidence, a large following, but you have to grow your following. The following does not just come overnight. You have to grow your following. Yes, you have to be very creative because you need to hold people's attention, video editing skills, creative thinking, and so much more. How you have to ask yourself, okay, someone wrote iPhone camera. Very funny. Okay, so now, if you, for instance, say, I want a career in human resources management, you have to ask for the particular career. Can anybody hear me now? Hello?
I can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think so. I think the rain is really, really affecting the network today. Okay, so we're talking about identifying your career path, and I've talked about the certifications. For instance, where you want to have a career, maybe in human resources or in banking or in risk management or internal control. And then you ask yourself, what are the certifications I need for this role? What are the internship opportunities, especially for young graduates? What are the internship opportunities? Are there workshops, seminars, webinars that I can attend? Once you have been able to identify your career path, it makes things a whole lot easier for you. You understand? So now let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, so I already gave a case study here. For instance, you want to become an HR professional. What are the requirements? You need a bachelor's degree in human resources management or law or social science, any social science related discipline. I actually worked with a doctor who was the executive director of HR. So we can all agree that the minimum requirement is a bachelor's degree. What are the certifications you need as you advance in your HR profession? You have to get a CIPM certification, your PHRI, SPHRI, etc. Like I mentioned earlier, we also check out for internship opportunities, especially for fresh graduates. We look for internship opportunities in organizations where you can hone your skills in moving in that career. Attend webinars, attend workshops, webinars such as this, so that you can learn on how to be able to perform well when you get into the workplace. Okay, let's keep moving to this job search. Let's move, please. Let's move this slide. Strategies for a successful job search. You've identified your career path, you have prepared yourself for the workplace, and now you are searching for the job. Job search can be very draining and exhausting, very draining. Even for those of us who have spent years in our career, sometimes we want to change our job. It is still an exhausting process. Please keep moving the slides, please. Keep moving the slide. However, how do you stand out? Number one, work on your CV. Work on your CV. Very, very important. Please tap the screen. Tap your screen so that other information, exactly. Work on your CV. First impression matters. Your CV is what is going to speak for you in your absence. Your CV is the first thing that the recruiter is looking at. So if she can invite you, or you can say, okay, this person is probably good enough for this role. The arrangement of your CV, the structure of your CV, the language of your CV, and even your presentation. This is an example of a CV. Sometimes you don't have to arrange it like this. You can put out your educational qualification first. Then you can, for those of you who have some experience, then you put out your experience and all that. Then if you have certifications, if you have any soft skills, just arrange it properly in such a way that the recruiter will be interested in getting to know you more. All right. Please move to the next slide. Please keep moving to the next slide. And then you need to tap the screen, please. Tap the screen. How do you stand out? First of all, apply to roles that require your specific skill sets and your qualifications, except where it is otherwise stated. Let me give you an example. And this is an example I often give, in conversations like this. I remember I was recruiting for legal officer, and then I wrote to the first degree in law, must have been called to the Nigerian bar and what have you. And I put out the application and all. And then people began to apply. And then one of the person that applied has a BSc in biochemistry for a legal officer. And so I had to call him and I asked him, did you apply for this role as a legal officer? And he said, yes. I said, okay, have you been called to the Nigerian bar? And he said, what is the Nigerian bar? I said, okay, so you see, this is why you don't get called for interviews, because you are just sending out your CV.
It's stated there specifically that you must be a lawyer. You must have a first degree in law. You must have been called to the bar. And you are sending me a CV in sciences. What do you want me to do with your CV for this particular role? So except where it's saying something like, just apply. There are no specific qualifications, then you can apply. However, where it is specific, it is important for you to apply to what applies to you. Please tap the screen. Just touch the screen. Okay, so now there are some applications that use ATS, applicant tracking system. When you are applying to such roles, you need to note the keywords and plug it into your resume. Because the way the ATS works is that if some keywords are not in your resume, it's not going to go through. The recruiter is not going to receive it, and you will not be called for an interview. So you need to note that what are the keywords for this role. For instance, if it says someone who has completed their NYSC, then you need to include it in your CV that NYSC completed. If it says someone who has experience in a financial institution, you need to plug it into your CV that you have experience working in a financial institution. And then, of course, you have cold emails. Please tap the screen. So just touch the screen as I'm talking, please. Okay. Now you also have cold emails and then word of mouth. Word of mouth. It's never hurts to tell people that you are looking for a job. Now let's talk a bit about cold emails. A lot of times people are like, what are cold emails? Does it work? Yes, it works. But for cold emails to work, to get you what you want, you need to send it properly. Cold emails are a way to build relationships. Now, before you click send, after typing a cold email, remember these following items listed here. Number one, you don't have any personal relationship with the person you're writing to. As a result of that, you need to have a catchy subject or a catchy introduction so that the person will be interested in reading what you have sent. If you just send an email and say, can anybody still hear me? I want to be sure that I can still be heard.
Yes,
Hello?
yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So you need to send out your email with a catchy subject or a catchy introduction. Hi there, I am the person you are looking for. And then you identify the business needs and your skill set. If you are applying to, let's say, a mortgage bank, what are you bringing? You can say something like, oh, dear Adama, I have been following Imperial Homes Mortgage Bank, for instance, or any mortgage bank, and I see that you are into mortgages. I am a skilled salesperson. I am able to communicate with so people. I have this connection. I am able to network with this. You need to identify a business need and then attach your skill set in relation to that business need that you have identified. And then your email has to be tailored and not generic. A lot of times people just type the same thing and send. What you are sending to a mortgage bank can never be the same to what you are sending to a pharmacy or what you're sending to a hospital or what you're sending to a commercial bank. You have to be patient enough to properly tailor your email to meet the needs of that particular company that you are sending it to. And then people are able to identify generic emails. If you send generic emails, most times people are going to ignore because in the body of that email, you are likely to mention something that is not related to the business that they are doing at all. And then most importantly, your value. What value are you bringing to the business? You've identified the business needs. You've mentioned your skill set and your qualification. You have been able to tailor your email to the needs of a particular business. Now, why should we consider you? Why? What value are you bringing to the business? you need to state it there clearly. If you bring me in, or if you consider interviewing me, having an interview session with me, this is what I can do. This is what I have been able to do. This is what, if I am properly trained, I will still be able to do. All right? Okay, let's keep moving. Fine, you have applied. You have sent your cold email, and then you have been invited for the interview. Do your research. A lot of times during recruitment, you would have sent out the name of the company to the candidate with the expectation that the candidate would have read up a bit about the company. And then you ask the person, okay, so what can you tell us about this business? And they have no idea. And they're telling you that I didn't have time to check it out. How do you want the recruiter to take you serious? Because the recruiter wants to see that you are also interested in the business that you are applying for. So you need to do your research about the business. You need to do your research about the role you are coming in to fill. So that way, when you are responding to questions, the questions are going to tie in with the values of the business or the needs of the business that you are being considered for. Be mindful of your body language. Recruiters are experts in reading body language. The way you sit, the way you respond, you roll your eyes, your facial expression, even when you sigh silently, people are seeing it. They are reading your body language. Your body language has to be optimistic. Your body language has to be eager. Your body language has to be relaxed, knowledgeable. You don't have to fidget. You don't have to be worried. I mean, they're human beings like you. You're having a conversation with them. So be very, very mindful of your body language. Anticipate interview questions. That was why I asked at the beginning of this session, tell me about yourself. It really, really sounds easy, but that is what can set the tone of a conversation. Tell me about yourself. Sometimes when I ask people, tell me about yourself, they start telling me, I'm from this village, I'm from this local government, I'm from this state, and this is my favorite meal. Yes, I'm interested in hearing that. But when I'm asking you to tell me about yourself, I want you to tell me about your strengths. I want you to tell me about your qualifications. I want you to tell me about your strengths. What have you learned? What do you know about the job? What do you know about the job? What do you know about what you're coming to do? How are you going to fit in into the organization? What have you done in the past? What are you willing to do? What are you currently doing with yourself? That is what tell me about yourself is. Some people will start with, oh, I'm single, oh, I'm married. That's great. But except the recruiter asks you for this information, it's best you don't share it. When you're talking about yourself, try as much as possible to channel it in relation to the role that you are applying for. Present yourself neatly and appropriately, whether it's a remote interview or a physical interview. Dress properly. If you need to make up as a lady, make up, arrange your hair, get a good location with good lighting, sit down properly, set up your system or your phone, whatever you're using, especially if you are interviewing remotely. And then, like I said earlier, speak on your skills, speak on your knowledge and your abilities. An interview is not the time for you to be negative. It's not the time for you to say, I don't know this, I'm not good at this, I'm bad at this, I haven't done this. The recruiter is not interested in what you are not good at. The recruiter is interested in what you are good at. So speak on your skills, speak on your knowledge, and speak on your abilities. Sometimes the recruiter is going to throw a scenario at you. They want to understand your reasoning. They want to see if you have been in that situation before and how you were able to manage it. There's what we call a STAR method of responding to questions: situation, task, action, and results. Somebody asks you, for instance, your line manager spoke to you in this manner. How were you able to handle it? Now, when you're responding, if you have any such incident, speak to the situation. What was the task? Okay, no, that's not a proper example. Now, let me say you were given a task to carry out, maybe to carry out a project analysis within 2 weeks. How did you handle it? And so when you are responding, you speak to the situation. Oh, we were scouting for a new customer, and then we had to come up with a business analysis within 2 weeks. And so the action that we took was that each member of the team was assigned to a specific detail or assigned to a specific function. And at the end of the 2 weeks, we were able to come up with this and this and this and this. That way, you have been able to employ the STAR method. You have addressed the situation, the tasks that you were assigned, the action that you took, and then the result. Finally, ask informed questions. Ask informed questions. And how can you ask informed questions if you have properly done your research? Your hiring manager wants to know that you are interested in the role, in the business, and the questions is if you have done your proper research. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, what is the worst job application feedback you have ever received? I'm interested in this. Please type your answers in the chat box. You've gone for an interview, you've already applied, you've been interviewed. What is the worst feedback you have received? Did they tell you the pay and you were like, oh, this pay is too low for me? Did they say, oh, we're so sorry, we can't proceed with you at this point? Or did they just ghost you? Someone wrote ghosted. Ibukunle Kehinde said ghosted. Okay, more responses, please. Okay, why are you writing the ghosted in capital letters? Okay, I want to see more responses. Okay, no pay. Okay. Oh, you are emphasizing the ghosted. Ghosted. I was ghosted. I kept on sending messages to the HR. No response. Oh, okay. Can I see more really? Ghosted, ghosted. Okay, can someone just speak to how you felt? Which one is spirited again? Okay, can someone just speak? I would like to hear someone speak. The worst job application feedback you received. Can someone speak quickly? Anyone? Okay, my score was low.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. Okay, I can hear you. Go on.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Though. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yeah, actually, it was very funny though. I had a job interview though. It was a virtual job interview at Abuja. Then I was there at Calabar at that time, and then I wasn't that prepared though. I don't know what really happened though, but I wasn't that prepared. But I was really looking for that job though. It was a boarding school, and then as at that time I was actually a mathematics teacher, so I needed something to be maybe advanced or stuff like that. So at some point at the end of the interview, and then they told me that my performance was not okay. You know, schools like that, they need something that is an excellent. And then since then, I won't lie to you, I've been I've been thinking about that job, and then such opportunity passing me by. But with what the knowledge that I've gotten in some years back, and even right now that I'm actually encountering this opportunity that is being given to me, I think I've seen so much errors in my life before, which I know it very well that this has really helped me. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, okay. Any other person wants to speak? Any other person? I'm looking for the guy who wrote ghosted in capital letters. Wait. I hope I pronounced that right. Can you speak? Or anybody in particular, anybody wants to speak?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Yes. I've been sending a lot of emails, and You know, the funniest thing is, I even started applying to companies that I'm interested in, offering my services for free.
Wow.
And they still don't respond. Or it's always the line of, oh no, the HR is busy. Oh no, HR doesn't meet people through bookings. You have to be called for an interview, and we are not hiring right now. And I'm from a very small country. I'm from Botswana. And
Okay.
because of how small we are, and I don't think there's that many opportunities at the moment, it's very, very hard to get someone to sit down with you and listen and even offer you anything. Like I said, I've offered to do it for free, and they still said no.
Wow. I can only imagine your experience, and I'm really hoping that things are going to turn around positively very shortly for you. Right? Okay.
Yeah, and I think again, I've been the thing that's stressing me at the moment is
Mhm.
I'm nearing my 2 years mark unemployed. And I sit and regret having quit my last job because the environment was too toxic and I
Okay.
had to leave. You know what? I'll try. I can get something. I was so confident that I'd get something in less than a year, and it didn't happen. And I get it. We are in a recession, but
Okay.
hence why I registered for this. I was like, there's no way. 2 years and nothing.
Okay. You know what we can do? At the end of this conversation, we can have a chat and then we can just have an understanding of the situation and see where coaching can be made available. Is that fine?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Let's- you're welcome. Okay, let's keep moving because of our time. Okay. I don't have control of the slides, so I need you to move to the next. Thank you. Now, networking. Networking is very, very important when it comes to job search. How do you network? Attend events, webinars such as this, programs, seminars. In events like this, you meet people, you share your experiences, and you never know who may have a need for your particular skill set. Be polite and don't be overbearing. Show interest in conversations. A lot of times we tend to barge into conversations. We tend to be overbearing. We tend to want to be the only ones speaking in the conversation. It's kind of off-putting. So, and then most times people don't want to relate with you. In events where you need to have conversations, try as much as possible to show interest in what the other person is saying. Chances are that person is going to remember you and remember what you are able to offer so that if any situation comes up, the person can remember, oh, we spoke to Adama, so and so period, and then the person can reach out to you. Well, however, if you are monopolizing conversations or if you are overbearing in the way you speak, you find that people may not really want to associate with you. Be knowledgeable about trends and issues going on in the country and in the society. That way you can keep a conversation going. If you don't know what's going on, if you don't know what people are talking about, if you don't know what the current trends are, it might be very difficult for you to be able to maintain a conversation with someone. And for those of us who are active on LinkedIn, engage in LinkedIn conversations. Where you see a topic is being discussed, write, make your opinions known. If you have suggestions, put it down, engage in those conversations. And that way, you'll be surprised that people will remember you, people will reach out to you because people are reading those conversations, people are reading those comments. And when roles come up on openings, people remember, oh, this person, I had a conversation with this person, and there are chances are that the person will be you. All right. Can anybody hear me? Okay. Job search, like I said, can be very exhausting, but satisfying at the end when you are able to get the job that you have been, hoping for or working towards getting. Practice interview questions privately. Prepare yourself. Don't assume that you know what the interviewer is going to ask you. Practice. Check online for interview questions. And most importantly, learn how to put yourself and your skills out some more. Don't keep your knowledge to yourself. By the time you engage in conversation, by the time you go for webinars, by the time you respond on conversations in LinkedIn, you put yourself out, you put your skills out.
Ma, I can't hear you again.
Hello, Ma. Your mic is muted.
Hello, Ma, I can't hear you.
Can
Okay,
you hear
so
me now? Can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me now?
yes, you can.
Okay. All right. So the network was my screen just froze and I was just trying to
Ma.
get it to unfreeze. Is it better now?
Yes, ma.
Okay, so we can now take questions and answers. We are the question and answer session.
Yes, ma.
Okay. Okay, hello. I can't hear anybody. I can't hear anything anymore.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
All right, so I'm guessing everyone can hear you as well.
Okay. Okay, so I said
I think your network is unstable. You keep going on and off. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, if you can't say the question over the phone, could you type it on chat?
can anyone hear me at this point? Because my whole screen is frozen. I don't know what is going on.
Yes, we
Can
can still
anyone
hear you. We can hear you at
I
this
can
point.
hear you, but it seems your network is not stable.
It's
Yeah.
raining very heavily, extremely heavily
Yes, it's
where I am.
raining everywhere.
Okay, but I can take a few questions now. Or you can just type it. You can type it. Someone is raising his hand. You can go ahead and speak.
I have a question. May I proceed?
Yes, please.
So how would you advise that one approaches the question, what would be your salary expectation? Is it wise to share your expectation, or to request for what the budget for that role is? What do you think is the appropriate way of approaching that question?
Okay, so you can approach the question in two ways. The first one is to carry out your research to find out what that role pays in that industry. That way you have an idea of what you are supposed to earn if you were successful in the interview. And then how can you know that? By carrying out a research. That's number one. Number two, you can request for the budget of the role. You can stand your ground during the interview and insist that, okay, you would like to know what they are offering for the role. That way it will guide you in your response. Because as sad as it sounds, a lot of times people shortchange themselves. So when they ask you, what is your expected salary? You don't know the budget. You don't know what the industry pays for that role. And then you go and say 200,000, 500,000. Most times they will offer you that. And then when you now get into the company, you now realize that I could have been earning 700,000. I could have been earning 600,000. So you can either make your research or you ask for the budget of the role. That way you will be properly guided. Thank you. I do hope that you heard what I said.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other question?
Hello, ma. Good afternoon, ma. So my own question is, if we are applying for different jobs, as they said, we have to tailor the CV to what we are applying for. So is it that we are going to share the job experience for each of the job? Maybe you have like 5 places, you work in 5 places before. So the one related to each job you want to do will be in the CV you are presenting to them, or I don't get that.
Okay. If I understand what you're saying, in company A, you worked as a doctor. In company B, content creator. Company C, lawyer. Company D, HR. Is that possible? Is that possible?
No, maybe yes. Maybe you all work differently. Maybe in company A as a supervisor, in company B as a customer care, in company, so different jobs. So you okay. So you now have a different roles you want to apply for now. Maybe you are applying for one job is HR, another one is customer care. So is it that you have to share the experience for each of the job you want to apply for?
Okay, first of all, it's not even advisable to jump from role to role to role, because you'll find out that at the end of 10 years, you are not an expert in any. You get what I mean? You did 2 years in customer service. You did 1 year in HR. You did 6 months in operations. What exactly are your goals? Do you want to become a expert? Your career path? Do you want
We can't hear you, man. Your line is breaking.
Hello? Is it better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so what I'm saying in essence is that you need to be able to create what you do. Try as much as possible not to jump from role to role to role, because at the end of the day, you find out that you are not even able to do any well. And then in response to your question, no, you don't have to separate your CV. Put everything that you have done so that they can see that you have experience, even if you don't have the requisite number of years or the experience that you're looking for. But again, I would advise, don't jump from roles to roles to roles to roles. In the long run, you find out that you are not good at any of those roles because you have not spent enough time in any of those roles to totally understand what is expected of you. All right? What can you do when you are waiting or seeking for a job? You keep learning. You attend forums like this one, attend webinars, go for networking events. There are a lot of events that you can find online that are not paid, go for those events. There's no end to getting knowledge, acquiring knowledge, and then also you can network in those events. That way, you might even be able to get a job, and then you keep on applying. You can also set all these prompts that send job vacancies on LinkedIn, Jobman, and what have you. That's where you keep on getting prompts, but you don't just sit down at home. You keep learning, you keep networking, going for all these events, and getting as much knowledge as you can. Thank you. Would that be all? Is there any other question I can take so that we can round up? All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry about the network. Okay, someone says, how do I secure internship without experience? You don't need experience to do an internship. What experience, if you're coming in as an intern, what experience do you need? You don't need experience to secure an internship. Okay, anybody asking you for experience to do internship probably does not understand what an internship means. You don't need an experience or any experience to secure an internship. Okay. All right, Shifa. Thank you very much. That will be all. I don't think there's any other question.
Sorry, please, before you go, a lot of organizations these days, if you want to go for internship, they actually require experience, most of them now. So sometimes
exactly,
yes,
sorry
most of them require it. So the thing is actually an issue sometimes, because somebody is required, even if you're going for maybe financial companies, somebody is requiring you to be proficient in Excel, another person is requiring you to be proficient in Power BI, another person is requiring you to have an ICANN or be in the process. So sometimes it's actually an issue when you want to face one particular direction. Okay, maybe you want to be proficient in Excel and you're looking for a job, and the person says you need Power BI or you need to be proficient in using Python and all those things. So these things are actually big issues for a lot of us. Like, I wish there are actually companies that require you to start from the scratch up, but you hardly, very, very hardly find such. So I don't know how you tackle that kind of thing. I'm actually facing that problem now. Thank you.
Let me quickly respond to this. First of all, an internship is supposed to be a learning period. So I don't understand why someone would say, I'm looking for an intern to come and do a job, or I'm looking for an intern with an experience. If I'm looking for an experienced person, that's a totally different job role. An intern is somebody who is coming in to learn, to understudy the department. Do you understand what I'm saying? So unfortunately, we also work in an environment that takes advantage of people. That is why somebody would say, if you're coming in for an internship, you should have experience. And then they will pay you intern salary and expect you to do the work of an experienced hire. Is actually wrong. Internship is a learning period. And if you see any reputable organization looking for an intern, they are looking for people to train, people to learn, not people to come and do the job of an experienced hire, and then you pay them peanuts or you pay them stipends under the guise of internship. Internship is a learning period. It's a period for you to understand that department or even understand your profession. Maybe you're coming in as an HR intern or a finance intern. You're coming to learn. So this looking for experienced intern, how they say it, is an oxymoron, two opposite things. It's not supposed to be. You can't be an intern and be experienced. It doesn't make sense. You get what I mean?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Thank you very much.
Sorry about the situation you are facing. It's unfortunate in the country where we are, but you can't be an intern with experience. It doesn't make sense. You understand?
Yes. I've actually left checking all those things. So I just say, okay, maybe I'll just learn a skill and face it. And maybe for now, quit the job search or something like that.
I get you, but don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. I'm sure over time you're definitely going to get something that suits you. So don't just
Thank you very much.
all right.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Apologies about the network. It's been raining all day, and I guess that is what has been affecting the network. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma, for joining us today. It was a really amazing session because it was just beautiful. Okay, so I can see someone is saying, how can I write accurate resume and cover letter for non-governmental organizations? Okay, so we did have a session. I don't know, are you Techno BF6, are you part of the program or you just joined this webinar? Okay, so if you just joined the webinar, you can go to our YouTube page, search for.
No, I'm part of the program.
Oh, okay. Did you attend the class for CV writing?
No, I have missed the first day. That's all. No, I have missed the first day.
Oh, you didn't join it. Okay, the recording is already updated, so you can like go through the recording.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining. Next week we're going to have a series of webinars as well. Now, like I said, the webinars are not like the bootcamp classes. It's definitely they are packed with information that you need and they're specific to your needs. Actually, that's how they're tailored. Okay, so next week's schedule will be out and you know what days you have webinars sessions. So meantime, before you leave the call, please make sure to fill the attendance. It's very, very important. Please fill the attendance. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Really appreciate your time.